So today we're going to be cooking a caldo de res. This is 4 pounds of carne de res para deserbar, and these are going to be our vegetables. So we're going to be using 4 whole corn. We're going to be using a bag of baby carrots. We're going to be using celery, a whole head of cabbage, 4 potatoes, and 6 zucchinis. Okay, so now I'm going to be chopping up the celery, but I don't want them in too small pieces so that they're still able to get them while they're in the caldo. Okay, so now I'm cutting the potatoes, and you can cut them as big or as small as you like. I'm just going to cut them in half, then I'm going to cut them in half again. Okay, so now we have the cabbage head. This part was already pre-cut, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it in half. And you don't want to cut it in really small pieces, or again in another half, because once we boil it, it can get really mushy and the cabbage will dissolve. So that's why we're gonna be putting it in there like this. Okay, so after your corn is rinsed, we're gonna cut them, and you can either cut them into 4s, put them in whole, but I'm gonna be cutting them into halves, and it's kind of hard, sorry. Shit, okay. I'm just taking off the end parts and then cutting them in half. And excuse my hand, it has eyeliner. I was testing out eyeliner earlier. Shit. No. So since it's really hard, as you can see, to cut it with a knife, what you can also do is just break it down the middle with your own hands, and it works obviously way better. Okay, so now we have everything chopped up, everything rinsed, everything clean, and we have our baby carrots. All I'm gonna be doing is taking them out of the bag and rinsing them. And well, I mean, they're already baby carrots, so we're just gonna be leaving them that size, not doing anything to them, not cutting them. And this is all I'm gonna be using, the chicken bouillon. This is all I'm gonna be using. I'm not gonna be using anything else but this. Okay, so we have our vegetables, our meat, our chicken bouillon, and I already have the water boiling. So it's already been on high for about 15-20 minutes. That's because that way everything can cook a little bit faster. So I'm gonna be adding the meat into the pan to boil, and this meat is just a little bit frozen, but once it gets into the water, it'll be fine, because they're big pieces, and so yeah, they're just gonna fall apart on their own. Also, with the meat cooking, I'm gonna be adding the corn, because the corn takes the longest to cook, aside from the other vegetables. And I'm gonna be adding the chicken bouillon. That way when everything is cooking and the meat is cooking, everything will have flavor. Okay, so I took the meat out because la vamos a deserbar, so we're going to be pulling it apart, and then we're going to be throwing it back in the caldo. The reason for this is because obviously I don't want these really big pieces here. But while I'm waiting for it to cool down a little bit more, we're going to be Sorry, I just rinsed my hands really quick. So this water is still boiling, and it has, you know, the chicken bouillon that we had put in earlier. So I'm gonna start putting some of the vegetables. I'm gonna start putting some of the vegetables in the caldo. But the cabbage is always gonna go in last, because if not, it's gonna get, like I said, really mushy and it's gonna dissolve because the cabbage cooks really fast. So I'm gonna start putting in So I'm going to separate the cabbage. That way we can work with it later. And I'm going to be putting in the tomatoes. Putting in all of the tomatoes, because as you know, the tomatoes also take a little while longer to cook. And then we're going to be putting in all our other vegetables. So we're going to be putting in our zucchini, our carrots, our celery. Alrighty, so that was all of the potato. And now I'm just going to be, oh, sorry about that. Alright, just dropping, yeah, we're just going to start putting all our veggies in here. Okay, so as you can see, our caldo de res is somewhat at a simmer. So now we're going to be adding our cabbage. Since it's the very last step, like I said, it has to be done till the end. So we're going to start adding our cabbage. And then we will be done. And we're just going to let that come to a simmer. And the cabbage will start falling apart on its own. And so that's why we put it in big pieces like this. See me? Hmm?